Yo, what's going on, you guys? You know I'm back at it again. Let's do this. So, what's the topic of this video? Well, I don't know if y'all hear that, but the cats are back here bugging out. But, the topic of this video is actually about how I enjoy Mortal Kombat 11, because this game got a lot of hate during its life cycle, and the hate came from the very beginning. People were angry because NRS decided to de-emphasize combos. Well, at least they said they de-emphasized combos, but as you can see, combos are still very much alive and well in this game. Some characters have all kinds of different combo paths, but others do not. And I do think that going forward, future Mortal Kombat titles should try to have as many combos as humanly possible. But by the same token, that doesn't mean that this game is devoid of them. People didn't like the desexualization of the female characters, which I'm like, bro, there's plenty of porn out there. There's a lot of it. If you just need to have your female characters have triple D breasts and skimpy ass outfits, there's plenty of games out there for that. There's all kind of fan fiction and all that out there for you. But a woman ain't got to be half naked to be sexy. And why is sex appeal even something that's even seriously being contended when we're talking about a fighting game? This game's already extreme in a lot of ways. Extreme amounts of violence, gore, dismemberment, all that kind of stuff. That's not enough for y'all? I don't know. Maybe I just have a different attitude. I think it's because I'm married. See, when you're married and stuff like that, you kind of get bothered by people just looking at women simply as pieces of meat to be ogled over and stuff. But, I had no problem with NRS purposely toning down on women's skimpy attire. And even still, this game had plenty of sexified female characters. They just weren't half naked. And that's okay. But, people had a lot of disdain for the game right from the very beginning without even having played it. But when I played it for the first time, during the days of the beta and all that, I was enthralled. I really loved the direction of this game because it felt like, neutral mattered again. You know what I'm saying? I hate to use this damn phrase, but Mortal Kombat 11 really did try to make neutral great again. But the reason why I say that is because, even though NRS's previous Mortal Kombat title, Mortal Kombat X, had lots of combo routes and variations. It introduced variations to the series, and each variation felt like a different character and all that kind of stuff. The way the game played was just jank, as far as I'm concerned. Like, in MKX, and I say this, you know, I told my peoples this, and I'll say it on this video. In MKX, either you had to rob people to win, or you was getting robbed. That's how you have fun in that game. Everybody has a 50-50. Bunches of 50-50s. You know, everybody had armor all over the place. You know, you didn't play neutral in that game. You were either full screen or right in the opponent's face. There was very little in between there. Unless, you know, you saw it at the highest level between two characters that could really kill you for doing something stupid. But, you know, most of the time, there's not a bunch of neutral being played in that game. You're just about to be in somebody's grill, shoving 50-50s down their throat, and heaven help them. That's basically how that goes. And frankly, that's all fine and good for people that, you know, maybe this is their first fighting game, you know, first time they're taking anything quasi-serious and they want to win matches. It's very easy to eke out victories over people when they have to guess between your high and your low. You know what I'm saying? Or your mid, your overhead is what I mean to say. But it's more difficult to win when it actually matters where you place your character on the screen. And Jesus Christ! I forgot that happened. I genuinely forgot that happened. Damn. Anyway, yeah, it's much more difficult to win where in a game where it matters where your character is on the screen. It matters whether they are, you know, sweep distance, match start distance, just outside of sweep distance, 3/4 screen, 2/3 screen. Like when those distances actually matter in a game, and there's not so much of an emphasis on overheads and lows and stuff like that, then it actually matters how you play. The micro decisions that you make in each match become very important. The simple choices become so important. Like my decision to step back there when he was in the corner. I did it to bait a jump, and it worked. Ooh, I didn't capitalize off of that. Like, it's so interesting because as I'm watching these matches, I don't remember playing them, but it's just fun to go back and look at them because every little decision you make in this game is mad important. Ooh! Ooh! That was good. I love an anti-air. I love it. And that's one of the things I do like about this game. Depending on the character, you can really get some nice anti-airs and kill people for jumping at you. You really can. Now, that doesn't mean that every character has universally great anti-airs. But typically, you know, each character in this game has one really good move that they can use to pop folks out of the sky. Now, generally, you're not gonna do that off of on reaction. It's gonna be on a read, so you're gonna have to bait the opponent to jump towards you and hope that they do. But when they jump at you and you're ready to anti-air, you can kill them on some real talk. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things I really enjoy about MK11. So I said that, you know, this game sort of was a return to neutral, so to speak. And in comparison to MKX, I think it really was. It wasn't about the cheesiness. Now, let's be clear. There was still plenty of cheese in this game. Not gonna deny that. I ain't trying to deny that for a second. I believe in objective reality, of course. But oh, what the hell? Oh, okay, smart.
It's true, not myth.
But MKX had way more cheesiness. I mean, for crying out loud, I mean, the game had full screen strings. Like literal strings where your opponent stands on the polar opposite side of the screen. They initiate their string from all the way across, and by the time the string is done, it hits the opponent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Smoke had a teleporting normal that hit from anywhere on the screen. So you just could not play footsies with that character because no matter where you stood, he could hit you on the other side of you. You know? You can't play neutral with a character like that, because they're just going to win. Unless they're playing the full screen string person, but even still, like, you know. Point is, this game has dramatically, or it did dramatically decrease the cheesiness of the in-game stuff. And I appreciate that. As I alluded to earlier, it really mattered how, when, and where you moved on the screen. Because my first serious Mortal Kombat was MK9. And one of the really important things about MK9 was you needed to take full advantage of your character's movement options, their walk speed, their dash block speed, you know, distance, the distance that they covered with those dash blocks. All that stuff mattered. If they had extraneous maneuverability options, that was also important. Like if you're a reptile player, your dashes are terrible. Your walk speed's good, but your dashes are horrible. So typically you would move around using your command dash, your reptile dash. That's important. If you're a Smoke player, he has the phase in and phase out. He used that for mobility. I mean, he already had good movement as it was, but he can move in those ways too, while also building meter. All that stuff is very important. And in transitioning from Mortal Kombat 9 to MKX, one thing that was immediately perceptible is the fact that, damn, these characters walk terribly slow. And they had to do that because there was a run button, and characters had full screen strings, and they had ridiculous jump ins and stuff like that that covered hella distance. And so you can't give these characters these crazy mobility options they didn't have previously and then give them fast walk speeds too. That's just not gonna happen. Ooh. Why didn't I finish that? Oh lord. But yeah, so in MK9 you had to walk and you had to dash, and it was good. It was very good. But then in MKX, walking was almost not an option for you. Some characters could walk really well, but Sub-Zero? No. Sub-Zero had really good dashes though, and his slide was really fast. But walk speed? Nah. The opposite of actually. But So this game, you know, fast forward to 2019 when this game comes out, characters walk really nicely. I think this game has the best balance of movement options out of the three, because the characters walk, they don't walk as fast as they did in Mortal Kombat 9, but to compensate they have longer range normals. You know what I'm saying? But they don't walk as fast, and dash blocking isn't as good and oppressive, but it's also good enough to where you can whiff punish people. You can make people whiff. You can walk out of somebody's jumping range. You know, you can really like move and be where you want to be on screen without, you know, just feeling like you were just able to get wherever you wanted to be unimpeded. Because one of the things I didn't like about MKX was, you know, as a player, I try to keep a little bit of distance between myself and the opponent. That way I can make them do something dumb. Hopefully. You know what I'm saying? But that playstyle didn't work that well in MKX because the opponents could be wherever the hell they wanted to be. If they wanted to be in my face, I could do all the good zoning I wanna, but eventually they're gonna be in my face. And I don't have really good backwards movement to keep that distance. And the anti-airs weren't that solid to keep them, you know, from jumping at me. And so this game definitely improved in that area. But I'll talk a little bit more about the gameplay in a moment, but let's just talk about these visuals though. I will say this, MK9 for a 2011 game still holds up really good on PC. You know, on PC it looks pretty nice, I ain't gonna lie. It's bright, it's vibrant, the stages, you know, come to life, the characters come to life, you know what I'm saying? It looks really good. MKX, I mean, it was graphically impressive too, but a lot of the characters, I mean, they have like a rubbery looking feel to them. I don't know. They look like they were made out of rubber. But this game right here, hell nah. Textures on this game are stupendous. Out of sight. Amazing. You know, you could see scales. You could see dimples. You can see scars if there are any. I mean, for you know, you could see Jax's stretch marks around his arm area where, you know, like his underarm, chest area, where the skin stretched to incorporate the metal arms. You could see stretch marks. Like, you can see everything. And this game has nice colors. They're not as vibrant as MK9, but they're vibrant enough to not feel dark and, you know, somber. You know what I'm saying? This game had probably the most natural looking colors, I think. Also, the stages. This game, I mean, no game's gonna beat MK9 stage-wise, you know what I'm saying? Like, roster-wise and stage-wise, Mortal Kombat 9 is the pinnacle for me because it has all the, you know, 2D era MK characters and the stages that we all know and love. You know, the original game music, all that kind of stuff. But this game has a, you know, for a game that's not really heavily relying on past game lore, it brought a lot of nice stages to the mix. I really love, you know, the desert stage. Like, that's my go-to stage because it's bright. You know, I like the Dragon Grotto. I like the Shaolin Trap Dungeon. You know what I'm saying? I like the Fire Gardens. You know, Scorpionville, as Johnny Cage calls it. You know, there's a lot of stages that I enjoy in this game quite a bit. I like Charon's ship. Ooh, damn, child. Cage. Like, this game had a lot of good stages, and there were, well, I already said this, it had good stages, and there were a lot of them as well. Like, one of the issues that I think MKX had was you ain't had but 12 stages, if I remember correctly, you know, and those stages were memorable and whatnot, but if you didn't like one of them, that's a significant portion of the stages that you're just not fond of playing on. Yeah, I mean, but they gave us more stages, and the stage variety is much more, and it's cool. And then they added more stages. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is one of the stages that was added, the tournament joint. And I like it quite a bit because of the patterned floor. Like, the floor has square units on the bottom, so you can accurately measure distance. You know, it's a NetherRealm stage with, you know, that pays homage to NRS's arcade legacy and console legacy at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really nice. And it has a stage fatality, which I need to start doing more of those, but I tend not to be fatality motivated. But yeah, game stages are very nice. The roster in this game, though. One of the things that I think people didn't give this game enough credit for is having a nice roster. You know what I mean? I hate to sound like a broken record, but in comparison to MKX, this roster kicks ass because, you know, they introduced a whole bunch of new characters in Mortal Kombat X, and most of them were not fully developed all the way, or at all. You know, you had new bad guys, like Devora, Aaron Black, and Kotal Khan, though Kotal Khan's more of a tweener. Farrah Tor, and stuff like that. We don't know where they come from like that. We weren't given a whole lot of information on them like that. And ooh, guy wins. Oh, god damn, I know he was mad. Gotta watch them toes, doggy. See, but I didn't rob him to win that. I hit confirm my low string. Rap. You know what I'm saying? He could have low blocked. I ain't got no 50-50. West side. But anyway, I was saying that the game, or MKX, introduced a bunch of new characters, the majority of whom were not fully or even partially developed or explained at all, you know? And it's a shame, because some of them had a lot of potential, and quite a few of them didn't make it back. And not even just bad guys, they did this with good guys too, because we had the, you know, who are now called the Combat Kids. You know, we had Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs, Takeda Takashi. Is that his name? Takahashi? I can't recall. And then Kung Jin. And these are new characters that were supposed to take Mortal Kombat into a new generation. Problem is, you know, they didn't really, a lot of them weren't even compelling. And they felt shoehorned into the game. And then the people who they were supposed to be replacing were still playable. You know, Cassie Cage is a mix between Johnny and Sonya, but you could still play as Johnny and Sonya. You know, obviously, Jacqueline Briggs is Jax's daughter, but you can still play as Jax. You know, Takeda is basically raised by Scorpion, but he's Kenshi's son. But Kenshi and Scorpion are both playable characters. Kung Jin is Kung Lao's nephew. No, he started off as a cousin, then he became a nephew. They can't even get their own damn lore right. Anyway, a relative of Kung Lao, but Kung Lao's in the game. You can play as Kung Lao, so it's like, how you gonna take these new kids have these kids take Mortal Kombat in the new generation, but the old generation's still there? I mean, not to say that they should have just not included the old generation, because if they'd have done that, that'd have been very controversial and people would have been pissed off. But it's like, you don't need to be introducing all these new characters then. You know? But anyway. By contrast, MK11, it introduced 3 new characters: Kronika, Geras, Collector. Didn't really develop them all that well either, because I'm pretty sure Collector's not going to be an MK12, if I just had to guess. Geras might make it, because I think he probably had the most potential. And Kronika's been destroyed, so I don't think she's making a return either. So you had 3 new characters, which I think is the right amount to introduce in any Mortal Kombat game. And then everybody else, you know, is either a guest character or a returning MK character. Some of whom we haven't seen in the NRS era at all, such as Fujin. We've seen Sindel, but Fujin returned for the very first time. Rain is the first ever double DLC. So Rain made a return, which was awesome. You know, you got Shang Tsung, Nightwolf, Sindel. Yikes. You know, all those guys came back into Mortal Kombat along with Melina. And yes, I know a lot of those are simply MK9 roster characters, base roster characters that made a return, but you know, MKX didn't even have them. You know what I'm saying? MKX did bring back Boraicho and Tanya, which was dope, and Goro, who's my favorite. But then it brought Tremor, which was very interesting. And Tremor was broken. Tremor was OD. And you know, I don't like fighting him because he's just very dumb. But, you know, that has nothing to do with his inclusion on the roster, but still. But then this game, as you can see, brought Shao Kahn. A playable Shao Kahn. That's only happened in a small handful of Mortal Kombat games. Literally like 2. Maybe 3. Because you could play Shao Kahn for the first time in Mortal Kombat Trilogy. You had to do a code to play as him on the N64, but then on the PlayStation version, he was just on the roster, so you could just do that. The next time we could play as Shao Kahn was in Mortal Kombat Deception on the GameCube version. And then the next time after that was obviously Mortal Kombat Armageddon, where you could play as everybody. So it's happened 3 other times. And so that's a big deal. But this roster was good. And I really did like the guest characters too. Like Spawn, RoboCop, Terminator, John Rambo, Joker. Like crazy. Bananas. Bananas. You know. As a bananas group of guest characters. And it sort of begs the question of who's next. I don't know who they could possibly put in the game that could be next after that. I mean, there's some names out there, some of which I'm not all that crazy about because I'm not familiar with the source material, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just happy that these characters were in the game, along with, you know, the roster of non-guest MK characters. Now, there are some notable exclusions that I hope appear in MK12, like a Smoke, like an Ermac, like a Reptile, you know, those kind of guys. Like a Serena. I'd like Serena to be playable finally, you know. I mean, and then this game brought back Scarlet and Baraka and Jade. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. That's awesome. So the roster in this game is really nice. I like it. What about that gameplay, though? So once again, even though, you know, Mortal Kombat reinvented the wheel, or Mortal Kombat 11 reinvented the wheel, sometimes in ways that weren't necessarily needed, they did reinvent the wheel in ways that I can appreciate. Whoa. Oh, he must have left. He was mad at hell. Damn. So, one of the things that is different, and I hope it stays like this, is the meter system. So in the previous 2 MK titles, you had a 3-tiered meter system, or I should say 3-segmented. So your meter bar was split into 3 pieces, and in those 3 pieces, you know, each one of those 3 pieces you could do something. So for one of those bars of meter, you could enhance a move, and so you could enhance 3 moves if your meter was full. For 2 bars, you had access to a combo breaker. And then for 3 bars, you had access to your X-ray finisher, or maneuver, I should say, which was a single, cutscene move that did around anywhere from 33 to 40-something% damage, depending on the character. Oh, why did I stop blocking? Jesus Christ. And each X-ray had different properties, different distances, and stuff like that. This game sort of, well, I ain't gonna say it did away with it, but it modified that system quite a bit. Because now, technically, you have a 4-bar meter system, but you have different delineations of meters. So you have offensive and defensive meter. And so your bottom bars are your offensive meter, and the vertical bars are defense. And so the biggest difference between the meter system here versus the old one is, instead of you doing actions to build meter, the meter comes back on its own. It regenerates over time, because time was a big theme in this Mortal Kombat. And so this meter regenerates with time, which some people still don't like that, and they don't want it to return. I personally hope it does return.
Let the cold be your tomb.
Because yes, I did like the old system where I managed my meter and did certain actions to build meter and all that kind of stuff. I do miss that, and I like that. But I also like not having to think about meter. Not having to worry about, okay, do I have enough meter to do this or do that? I like being able to focus exclusively on the match that's in front of me. It's nice. It's quite nice. One thing that a regenerating meter system does is it stops the inequity between characters of who's gonna build meter better than who. Because what happens is, in Mortal Kombat X and MK9, certain characters built meter better than others did. So if a character was a zoner, chances are they built meter very well. Why? Because they were always throwing projectiles, and the opponent was always blocking said projectiles, so they built even more meter on top of that. But if your character was a grappler, and you had trouble getting in on people or whatever, you probably didn't build meter all that good. And Goro's the perfect example of that. MKX Goro was very meter hungry because he needed meter to convert off of his furthest reaching mid. But Goro didn't really have a bunch of ways to build meter unless you were playing Dragon Fangs and constantly making people block all the time. And that would become a problem for him. Especially when he was fighting characters that, really took advantage of their meter and built it, better than he did. You know what I'm saying? Because you have characters like Grandmaster Sub-Zero, who he could kill you whether he had meter or not. As long as you was in that corner, your ass was in jeopardy, even when he had no meter. That's just how that went. Oh, damn. Why I killed him? Damn! What I murked this boy for? It must have been some select screen stuff. He might have been trying to play games like that, you know what I'm saying? Because some folks be trying to counterpick right out of the gate. That leads me to another thing about this game that I like quite a bit. It's interesting because the variation system was designed to help prevent counterpicking. And I don't think it was successful in that regard because, you know, chances are, if a character beat one version of another character, he beat all the variations of that character. You know? So you had to counterpick in order to survive. Like for Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero just didn't do all that well against Ermac. It didn't matter what version of Ermac you played. It didn't matter what version of Sub-Zero you played. He just did not do well against Ermac. You could fight the match, but you're at a disadvantage. So if you're a Sub-Zero player and you see that your guy picked Ermac, your ass gonna probably need a counterpick. But in this game, counterpicking's not all that strong. Character versus character, it ain't that strong, which I think is very interesting. Now what I will do is I'll counteract. It's more useful to counterpick moves than it is to counterpick characters. Like for instance, if I play against someone using Cassie Cage, and I know that they pick Kneecapped, I need to use a character that either has a projectile parry, a teleport, or an air projectile that goes diagonal down. I know that. Because that kneecapping, you know, is a really good zoning and anti-zoning tool. But you can jump over it, and if you have a diagonal projectile, you can stop them Cassies from wanting to throw that out there all the time. And so, counterpicking's not all that strong in that way. Because I don't know of a bunch of characters that beat Cassie Cage, like just outright. Like I don't think Cassie just has characters that she's just naturally weak against like that. But there are characters that are better equipped at dealing with kneecapping than others. Like this variation of Sub-Zero I'm using here. Oh shit. Oh, he messed that up. Oh, damn. Oh, did I get him? Oh, I thought I robbed him. With that ice axe, I'm very well equipped to deal with kneecapping. Damn! Why do that boy like that?
Soul will never rest.
Damn! I didn't even know I did that to this boy. Damn. Damn, why do him like that? Lord knows I'm wronged. Okay, he got me back. Oh, he got me back several times, but then I got his ass back. Oh, okay. Yeah. But, you know, damn, I done lost my whole ass train of thought. That brutality messed me up, yo. But, oh yeah, I was talking about counterpicking. Yeah, this game doesn't have a lot of that. It doesn't have a whole lot of that. I mean, there are definitely some characters that are better equipped to fight certain guys, but you can get around that. You really can. One thing I really like about this game too is your normals and strings are very important. Like you need to know what are your mids, what's your fastest punish, what's your longest range punish, you know, what moves do you do up close, you know, all that. That stuff is mad important in this game. And there's a clear delineation between which strings are supposed to be used at what range and in what way. You know what I mean? Like Sub-Zero's back one. It's a 14 frame high. You ain't supposed to use that when you're at point blank range. You're supposed to use it at sweep distance, slightly beyond sweep, all that kind of stuff. Oh, I tried to slide, bruh. And then when I did slide, he blocked. God damn it. So. Oh, I almost forgot to mention this. Oh, I tried to mix. That wasn't no good. Yeah. Tried to make that comeback. You got me down. But yeah, I was talking about the meter system earlier and how all three of your bars of meter would be used for your X-rays. X-rays were not all that popular to use in the previous titles, especially MKX. I mean, some characters' X-rays were useful, you know, but other X-rays, you just didn't need to do them. Especially when you got more damage off of using one bar than you ever did off of an X-ray. And then once you use your X-ray, there goes all your meter. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to spend all your meter at one time, as opposed to using it more intelligently. That ain't no good look. You know what I'm saying? And so I do enjoy the fact that in this game, meter or your X-ray type cutscene maneuver is decoupled from your meter. I like that it's tied to damage, like your damage threshold on the screen. I much prefer that, I think. You know, I think that's much better overall. Because you have the freedom to spend 2 bars of meter on a combo and then end it in an X-ray. Or technically it's known as a fatal blow. Like, I like that freedom. And I think that's something that should stay. I've talked about how the fatal blow system can be tweaked. Because it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But the idea of it is good, and I hope it stays. I actually like the idea of the crushing blows. Crushing blows, I feel like they're here to stay. And I hope Mortal Kombat 12 uses the crushing blow system that this game pioneered. I love the idea of the crushing blows. I just want them to be... I mean, they are universal. And I don't necessarily think that there should be more universal KBs. To me, the uppercut KB being universal is good enough. And I don't think every character needs a throw crushing blow. But I do hope that the majority of crushing, more crushing blows are going to be useful and good. And I really do hope that some characters get to keep the crushing blows that they had. Like, I want Sub-Zero to have a slide crushing blow in the next MK. I think that would be good. Because one thing I do think that Mortal Kombat is lacking sometimes is legacy. Sure, if Sub-Zero's in the game, he's going to have Ice Ball and Slide. You kind of know that. But you don't know if he's going to have Clone. You don't know if he's going to have Ice Puddle. You don't know if he's going to have ice shower. You don't know if he's going to have a teleport. You don't know. And then the commands of these moves are going to be different. You know, sometimes ice ball is down front triangle. Sometimes it's down front square. Other times it's down front X. Like, you just don't know what the hell it's going to be from one game to the next. And though it makes for a unique experience each game, when you then go back and try to play all the old games, you got to try to remember all the damn commands for all these guys and all the different systems, and it can be a mess. You know. And so I do think that a little bit of legacy wouldn't hurt. And so I do want, you know, some of the crushing blows that characters had to remain a thing in the next game. But I do love the crushing blows system. I think it's awesome. I love that. I love that quite a bit. Ooh. I think it gives each character. You know what I'm saying? Oh. What? What the hell would I do that for? I must have thought I was in the corner. Oh, I know what the hell. I was trying to do standing forward in a slide so I could remain unbreakable. Ah, stab your dumb ass. I don't know what I was scared for. I was acting like I'm trying to let this boy win or something. Like, what the hell? But yeah. So, crushing blows, footsies. Oh, one other thing I really like about this game is I actually like the way zoning works in this game. It's interesting. This is the first Mortal Kombat in which the zoning is supposed to lead to up-close offense, I feel. So, I play all kind of different characters. And for the ones that have good zoning, like a Sonya, a RoboCop, or a Scarlet, I find, especially with like Sonya and RoboCop, they're not trying to zone you in order to keep your ass out all match. That's not how their zoning works. Like, Sonya has a really good projectile. It's fast, it travels straight, it has a fast travel speed, it has very low recovery, and she even has a move that looks like the startup of her fireball, so she can trick people, and that's really nice. You know? So it's nice. But Sonya is not throwing those projectiles so that she can zone you all day. That's not how she plays. Because you can just duck the projectiles and you can and will get in on her at some point. You know what I mean? That's not how she's designed to play. Oh, damn. That was a good read. No. Her projectiles are designed to make the opponent approach. Oh my god, he uppercutted again. I should have stepped back and popped his monkey ass. Anyway. But her projectiles, she uses those as long-range normals, honestly. Because she doesn't have a bunch of range normals to hurt you with. And so, for her, having something that she can threaten you in the neutral with is very important. And that thing for her is her fireball. But not only is it there to you know, threaten people in the neutral with, she uses it to make them approach. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That was bad. Damn, that was dumb. Anyway. Yeah, so she is trying to hit you with these fireballs so that you recognize that, hey, I have to go in on her. Otherwise, she's going to kill me with these fireballs. And she's going to keep shooting them. She has no reason to not shoot them. She's going to keep throwing these out in the neutral. And so if I don't do something, that's going to be my ass. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah. That's what she wants you to do. That way she can launch your ass with that back 1-2 and get that big ass damage. You know what I'm saying? That is how she wants to play. And, you know, that's how her zoning works. Now, RoboCop is a little bit different because he kind of does want to keep you out all day and zone you to high hell. But the thing is, in this game, it's very difficult for you to zone somebody to death the whole damn match. It's just not going to happen. They're going to get in on you at some point. It's just a matter of time. And so you got to have something up close for your opponents. And so with a character like RoboCop, ooh, that was good.
Beg for your life.
You know, with RoboCop, yeah, he's got great projectiles to keep you out with and stuff like that. But he also has decent up-close buttons. He has a 10-frame mid that's safe. You know, he has extreme plus frames on hit with his flamethrower and the 1-2-1 string. He has a command grab. You know what I mean? That's 10 frames and throws your ass across the screen. He has anti-jump maneuvers that he can do to stop your ass from jumping in on him. As a matter of fact, anti-airing is extremely important for RoboCop because he can get some of his best damage by anti-airing people. Oh, hell no. What the hell? How did I... Oh, got your dumb ass. Ha ha! Ha ha!
This fight was your last.
I'm bugging out. But yeah, so his zoning kind of works similar to Sonya's in that he zones you in order to make you come get him. But he's just not as reliant on you coming in. He is perfectly content to zone your monkey ass the whole damn match. He has no issue doing that, you know? No issue at all. But I like that because as the Robo player, you have to be comfortable up close. You have to be comfortable from range. And that's how you play that character. You know. Now, some people are not fans of that. Some people want characters to live in their archetypes and be exclusively good at that and that only. And though I understand that, the limitation with that philosophy is, you know, you're gonna now have polarized matchups where you might have to counterpick. You know, because what will happen is if you have a character that's strictly a zoner and they are the typical keep your ass away from me type zoner against anybody with a fast teleport with low recovery, their ass is grass. You know? Against anyone with a projectile parry, they're toast. Because the one thing that they were really good at, this character invalidates my strength. And I don't have any good combos. I don't have good damage up close. I don't have good normals and stuff like that. And so, because I'm a zoner, I suck up close. So I can't be up close with this character that invalidates my zoning, but my zoning's invalidated, you know? That ain't no good, man. That ain't no good at all. And so I like that in this game, you don't have your archetypes set in stone. Like, some characters are like that. Like, Jackie Briggs is a rushdown character through and through. And it just doesn't matter what you equip on her. She's rushing you down straight up, and she's rushing you down. That's how that's working. But then you have a character like Baraka, who he can sort of do both, because he has a decent projectile, and he also has this spike move that stops your ass from jumping and can really, you know, mess up somebody's approach. Oh, that's your whole ass. Oh no! The roll punish? That's the best you had for me. Oh, he tried to rob me. Kick. Stupid. Wow, I don't know what caused me to do that. It was a good idea. Anyway. So, even with a character like Sub-Zero, Sub-Zero is classified as a 50-50 character, and for about half of the game's life, that's how people played him, that's how people thought of him. That's what they used to bitch about him for being. Oh, he's just a 50-50 machine, that's all he does, 50-50. I didn't see that when I played him. I had never played him as a 50-50 mix machine, because one of the 50-50s is 19 frames. You're not going to mix nobody to death off of that. Especially off of a 13 frame low and a 19 frame overhead. There's not a whole lot of 50-50 there. One of them is used up close, the other one is not. And then one of them's unsafe. And so the overhead was always unsafe too. So it's like, you know, I can't just do that and think I'm a win. So what did I do? I played him more mid-screen, you know. I still use the 50-50s, but I don't make them the core piece of my gameplay, you know. And that's been quite successful for me. Like, look at this RoboCop. I just got done telling y'all he's classified as a zoner. But look what I'm doing. I'm using my movement. I'm staggering. I'm doing my up-close stuff. Because this character has a projectile parry. See? But I'm still able to use my projectile. I just have to be smart about when I use it. I have to bait the projectile parry and all that kind of stuff. So this match right here exemplifies what I've been saying for the past few minutes about archetypes. Ooh. So if this game was more about hard and fast archetypes, ooh, it would not be good. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, smart. Oh! I got it to the match right there. I need to do more of that. Doing 1-2-1 into backdash. That was good. Mixing that up with throw. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah! Oh my god, look at the movement! Dashing back and forth like a madman. I don't know what he's doing. Kick. Haha! Your ass is going to jail. Anti-spamers. I love that. Spamer. Oh no! This outro is terrible, I think. I love the outros too in this game. Every character has 4 or 5 outros that they can do, as well as different intros. I love that. Gives the characters personality, you know, and a lot of the outros are legacy outros, which I think is terrific. Oh, okay. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna end with Melina. So I'm gonna show the 2 Barakas and then the Melina. Yeah. But there's a lot to like about this game. You know, like I said, this game was in many ways the return to neutral that I was waiting for from MKX. Is it perfect? No. Does every character play neutral? Hell no. Not at all. But did it try? I think it did. Did it succeed for the most part? I think it did in that regard. It absolutely matters what you're doing in the space between yourself and your opponent. And some characters can jump for free, others cannot. And you know, you can jump for free against some characters, but then other characters, you jump, you die. And so that kind of stuff rings very true in this game. It expanded on old features and brought a bunch of new features that should stay. You know, I even forgot to talk about the finishers. More brutalities, like the MKX style brutalities. Awesome. Love it. And they brought back friendships, which is even more awesome. Love that. Love that, love that, love that. I like that the interactables too. Like the interactables have like their own cutscene. Sort of has a, you know, X-ray / fatal blow effect on some of the stage interacts, so I think that's awesome too. Ooh, that was bad. No, child. Did I kill him? No, I didn't. See, I was nice. I like playing as Baraka. He's simple. That's another thing about this game too that I did like too. There's so many characters that I picked up and played over the course of this game, more than I typically would. I never was interested in using Baraka or Sonya or Scarlet or Jax, you know, before this game. And I play all those characters, and I like them. Oh lord! No! 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 Oh my god, now I gotta restart the joint. My bad. I pressed the wrong button, bruh. Yeah. But this game made me want to play as all those guys. And it was great. You know. And a lot of that is because the characters themselves are simple to play. They're simple to pick up and learn. And what will make you successful with the character is what you do with them while you're in the neutral. Like if you're a Scorpion player and you do stuff like what this dude is doing, just teleporting out of the blue, you'll win against some people that don't block, but against others that do like to block and punish, that's your whole ass. You know. So that's the kind of stuff that matters more than just character choice on the screen. Oh my god, I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to pick up characters. That was a good ass duck. And learn them and play them. And so you really do get the sense of getting more of your money's worth by playing more of the cast than you typically would. Because like in MKX, towards the end of the game's life, I only played 6 people. Sub, Goro, Triborg, Cassie, Melina, Katana. That was it. That was it. I tried Predator. Tried Aaron Black. Mess with Scorpion. That's about it. You know, everybody else felt like meh to me, you know. But in this game, there was a lot less of that. You could just really dig into the characters and play the hell out of them, you know. And I do rather like that. And honestly, I may pick up more characters, you know, as time goes on. I might have to do that, as a matter of fact, because, you know, when NRS decides to drop Injustice 3 or whatever, probably not going to play that game, because I'm a Mortal Kombat guy. So I'm going to have to learn somebody, keep my ass entertained as I keep playing this right here. And so that's the plan. Maybe I'll learn Spawn. Maybe I'll learn Jackie. You know, maybe I will mess with Cassie, because I seriously play like 13 characters, which I thought is dope. And then I had experimented with characters like Cassie, Joker, Katana. So I know a little bit of something with them, and Liu Kang as well. So if you count them, that's like 17 characters. I've never played that many characters in a Mortal Kombat game ever. And it's not like they all play the same, because they don't. Melina doesn't play anything like Sub-Zero. She doesn't even really play all that much like Katana, which is quite surprising, because in MKX, all the Melina players played Katana, and all the Katana players played Melina too. But in this game, they're like not similar at all, so you know. This boy, he played me in this set here. No, he didn't play the whole set. He played this match, and then I think he quit afterwards. See, look, in and out. Oh man, that was bad. I was mad that that didn't hit. Ooh. Look at that movement. Melina has some of the best movement in the game. I love it. Ooh, look at that. He didn't know what to do. I love that. Ooh. Yeah, but this game has a lot to like. And even though people hate on the game now, I think it will be remembered fondly. Even if it takes some years, you know? But that's just my opinion. I'll catch y'all later. We out.